But where do we go from here? Vaults is a likely option for us moving forward. Could immediately head into depths, but again, usually I prefer to start off in vaults, get our feet wet, have some fun in the sun, and then make our way down a bit further into depths. Oh, there is layer 5, I guess, so that might be something. It's the weight training coming off after Cat Meteor and Mummy runs. Exactly. You know, that's gotta be it. We're taking off the training weights, and all of a sudden, life is but a dream. Really the only explanation. But okay, let's break in here. What the heck? Has this changed? I feel like this is not what Elephant Vault used to look like in my head. I don't have the cold resistance yet, actually, game. That was the next plan here. So if we could all just chill out for but a brief moment. Let's maybe put on this bad boy and see, does that slightly slows me, but that's not the end of the world. Now let's run into all of our new friends once again here, shall we? I know my usual plan of spreading enemies throughout the level works slightly less well in this context because, again, we kind of thrive against the packs. But probably still a good idea, especially with the variety of flavors that these dire elephants are coming in. Again, not what I expected first thing on opening that. I'm used to it being a pretty unassuming entrance, and then only when you trigger the final area do these statues turn into living, breathing elephants. But again, I don't know if things have changed or if I'm just forgetful and it's been a while since I made my way through. Because there are definitely a heck of a lot of dire elephants. Oh gosh. All turning into simulacrums too. Could have been terrible, but turns out you just keep fighting and they all go down pretty dang quickly to the shared pain bond. And yeah, okay, starting statues did not turn into living, breathing elephants. Excuse me? What's up with that? Well, I'm very happy that we swapped into our cold resistance shield because this ended up being filled to the brim with just such a variety of enemies. Oh gosh, what the heck can I drop for now? Maybe this rapier that I may or may not ever touch. Could be fair. Oh, I guess Buckler Protection can go. Drop that bad boy. Finally get a Fear Scroll back, so that'll be nice to potentially bring into use in the future. Maybe, just maybe, save our lives sometime down the road, much like it has in the past. Oh, and I see. Just a Rune Demon Blade. I mean, if I really want a Demon Blade, which we might, we could actually end up swapping over to Long Blades if we so desired. I mean, they're not bad. They attack at 0.6, I want to say. Yeah, 0.6. It's not bad. Not ideal, especially since I would like to, once again, kind of fully stay leaned into the stabber theme that we have going on here. But we have the one drop from Mara, is what it boils down to, so we don't have to deal with the obsidian statue anytime soon here. And we're just about at the end of our evening. Is there anything I wish to do before I head off? I don't think we're going to be dealing with Swamp 3 today at all. Susan and Maglottl are both enemies that I prefer to fight near the, closer to the end of the run than to the start. One option we do have, we're actually in a half-decent spot to try out Elf. Let's maybe, once again, to borrow the nomenclature from earlier, dip our toes in the water, see how things are looking, how things are feeling. And we'll probably just do a floor, maybe two if it's super quick, before we head off for the evening, leave ourselves with a bit of excitement for next week when we jump right back in with Venus Flytrap, or at least I would hope so. Kind of dooming myself here, potentially, with my confidence. but be confident without any layer of hubris. And that's generally the DCSS dream, right? Unfortunately, this is another place that our anti-magic bite does pretty wonderful stuff for us, so that is just fantastic. Once we get into combat with these elven wizards, not a care in the world, things are gonna go beautifully. It's just on the approach or in large crews that we might find ourselves coming under a bit too much fire. You know, we can't rely on any of our evasion here, which is good because I don't have much evasion anyway, I guess. And actually switching up to that kite shield with our reflection branded amulet is pretty sick for dealing with elf. So potentially, I don't think we'll get through the entire thing this evening, but we'll potentially just be clearing through elf before heading to vaults. It's not the usual routine, at least for our channel here. I feel like I almost always wind up coming back to elf later down the road to just, you know, explore the treasure vaults and see what I might have left behind for funsies more than for any necessity whatsoever. But that is a-okay. Okay, and actually the wizards are one of the potential problem children here. Fortunately, doesn't seem to be the case for us here today. But we'll have to keep that in mind. Ooh, Ring of the Octopus. I love these. I mean, I don't have any cold resistance, so it's actually kind of tempting to pick this bad boy up. +2 to all the defenses. +2 HP is a thing, I guess. It's fine. I probably should just drop the enchant weapon and enchant armor scrolls on the ground somewhere that's easy for me to retrieve them at a later date. Guess I'm not going to be hot swapping this ring anytime soon. It's just kind of fun, so I kept it around. But Octopus Ring is our additional cold resistance if we find ourselves needing such things, so that's wonderful. And otherwise, we should be pretty dang solid. I'm guessing this is going to be most of Elf 2 actually already cleared. Still could be a little bit surprised there, but usually the majority of it is taken up by the Hall of Blades, and we could potentially... There could be an argument for going into Hall of Blades. Specifically, we could find ourselves with a Quick Blade down that direction. There's no real guarantee. I feel like the better chance of getting a Quick Blade is actually to just progress to either vaults or depths when we can run into some Spriggans that are very likely to be carrying around those sons of guns. Of course, that does come with the caveat that I have to be able to not die to said Spriggans in order to take advantage of it, but I'm feeling pretty good about our odds across the board. As long as I don't do anything too stupid, I think we might, just maybe, find ourselves in a half-decent spot here. Hello, my friends. Goodbye. And yeah, as you can see, we've already gone further than the initial plan was, because Elf 1 and 2 just blew by so quickly here. We'll block off that. That looks like the entrance to our final zone. Ooh, and that's quite an interesting vault. Is that full of shapeshifters, is my guess? I want to do a search for a Quick Blade too. Maybe one dropped. That's actually a very good point. Let's take a peek. Not for doing this right away. At least I don't think so. Especially, yeah, with a Mothrath, Hydra, and Dragon. Nope. But it's still good to take a look. And let's do it. Quick. Just Quicksilver armor at the moment. So that is a-okay. Do I immediately dive into the final vault? Is this going to leave as a teaser for next week? Guess we could try it out, eh? And you gotta love fighting elementals in this setup. Or elementalists, I guess. I do not like the Executioner, but I should be able to kill this buddy quickly enough that it turns out okay. So it would seem... And then just stab you real quick. perfect timing once again on the solo. You love to see it. And I'm hoping that come to me, please. Again, Executioner is bad. Holy moly, those demonologists are not fooling around here today, so it would seem. Oh me, oh my. Guess none of our wizard pals are, fair enough. What, let's do some condenser action, try and take care of them. They're really waiting that time. Yeah, they're learning it, so it seems. Unfortunately. Let's pop out here. We've shaken the hornet's nest, so what I oftentimes likes to do, head upstairs, let's wait out 100 turns, and then come back in with a fresh perspective on the matter. Excuse me? Can they see me? Excuse me? I have no idea who was getting blasted there. Maybe they did have some memory, which is shocking. Usually I put these elves on the same level as a toddler when it comes to object permanence, which is none whatsoever. But hey, maybe that was wrong of me to assume. Master Archer, if you could come right out here, please, and then I can probably do enough damage to do one of those bad boys. Fantastic. Gotta love you, Uskayaw. So gosh darn incredible. But let's see what we get. So this is just a better willpower ring, finally. Let's pick up that bad boy right away, giving us some more stats while we're at it. Love to see it. All the spell books that I'll probably never use. Ooh, Manual of Stealth. It's interesting. AI revolution is happening in DCSS. Oh gosh, please no. DCSS already can be a struggle as is. I cannot imagine. It gains enough sentience and probably built-in hatred. It will destroy us all. But okie dokie, we get the last couple of vocables here as well. Definitely grab these bad boys. And I think this is where we're pretty much going to end it off for the evening. Don't want to do anything else. Take like 10 minutes or so. I don't know. I'm feeling pretty fantastic at the moment here. Guess we could dip into vaults. So I'm just glancing at the time over and over again. I really shouldn't, but it's so tempting. This run has just been super fun. What are tips for the Abyss? My big tips for the Abyss are, as a general high-level idea, being good with sustainability. So, you know, if you're deciding whether to go to the Abyss as your, like, third rune, for example, if you're on a character that can last through a long encounter, then it's usually a good idea. So that's generally going to be your fighters. I mean, stabbers are actually not horrible, as long as you have good regeneration. But yeah, high regeneration is huge. You do still have to be careful of the ancient zymes, because they'll remove your ability to regenerate temporarily. But otherwise, that's a big one. If you are playing as a spellcaster, you probably want to hybridize a bit before you get there, so you have some recourse. If you're a transmutation-based spellcaster, then you get a bit more leeway, because generally you can kind of go to your form and then not spend magic and store that just in case. Because yeah, I guess the big thing to boil down is just sustain. You're going to be facing off against a lot of enemies, and for all intents and purposes, they're infinite, right? They could just keep getting spawned in directly on top of you. So it's generally a good idea to be able to handle that kind of onslaught for sure. Railbird mentions as well, prioritize stealth for Abyss, because it generally allows you to choose your battles carefully. That's true. As long as it doesn't get spawned right on your head, you can generally just ignore things completely and walk the other direction. So yeah, if you have good stealth already, or if it's something that kind of fits with the rest of your build, then that's definitely a pretty solid option for sure. So yeah, that's a really good point, Railbird. But okay, moment of truth. Do I dive in? Do we end it here? Man, I'm bad at making decisions. Why don't we, as always, anytime I find myself with a binary choice and no idea what to do, you bring out the coin. So, heads means we stop here because it's the smart thing to do. Tails means we keep going because it's fun. So let's see what we get. And it won't be for long, so it's probably not even worth going through all this effort, but what can I say? I'm a fan of the theatrics of a bet. And we get, I think that's tails. I had to double check because it looks a bit odd on the 50-cent coin. But I do get tails, as much as my the intellectual side of my brain says it's a terrible idea. That does mean we're going to continue on for probably just another 10 minutes or so. So again, it's completely unnecessary to whip out here, but nevertheless, extremely important, of course. Coin? What? No magic 8-ball? Unfortunately, left the magic 8-ball in my childhood. I wonder, you can probably still get those. They gotta still sell them, right? Oh, hello, Donald. Haste and might. I unfortunately don't have any quicksilver for our troubles. I at least don't want to fight both of you. So we're gonna start here. And you deal 41 damage, and you attack very quickly. Yeah, okay. That definitely escalated quickly. Elder Shock Beast, could we not blast through and ignore me? I need your support here, my friend. Thank you, I appreciate it. Welcome back, welcome back. Perfect. So nothing we can't handle here so far. I will get the heck out of dodge so that we aren't getting quite so frozen by our cold-hearted friend. Oh, geez. 16 corrosion is a bit much as well, now that I think about it for even a moment. Oh, geez Louise. I'm guessing entropy weavers are fast, aren't they? They are indeed, my friend. Well, at least the rest of these Sons of Guns are not quite so quick on their feet, so with that in mind, we're just going to run. Minus 24 corrosion, jeez Louise. Entropy weavers, oh, do have hands. Who knew? Okay, I'm just gonna cancellation then. Oh man. A little bit unnecessarily complicated there. Probably should have just backed out earlier on, but it is what it is. And so here we are. Still not too shabby at the end of the day. Check out this robe. That was pretty scary for sure. Yeah, if we weren't quite so consumable rich, would have been a bit of a nasty scenario. Yes, 'tis the danger of just stupidly walking headfirst into a corrosive enemy when we have no corrosion resistance equipped at the moment. Ooh, and this is actually slightly less than ideal too, with our cold-hearted friend. Fortunately, we take them out quick enough that it doesn't become too much of an issue, but it was very liable to. Then I'm actually going to take these bad boys on a bit of a trip. I don't want the Convoker in sight line. Gonna just dance into you, reset, and oh gosh, Convoker's in sight line. Get me stun. And we'll anti-magic that son of a gun so they can't call in any friends. Perfect. Mark trap, obviously less than ideal, or not trap, but more so the mark from the Sentinel pal. Less than ideal, but nothing we can't handle for the moment. And maybe it'll be like invocations, fighting. I guess I could learn some throwing. We could run back to the javelins we left behind. Could be useful to have, but not strictly necessary. So maybe even just Evo. We'll kind of keep spread all over the place with all the potential goodies. And then let's head back out into the floor, shall we? Okay. Terrible timing on that. I'm gonna lose Finale by the time they approach me, but that's fine. And there we go. Got the stab off just in time. Probably should not have been tab fighting quite so rapidly or carelessly when we were next to that many walls with Frostheart, but I mean, as you can see, it all worked out, so why learn from your mistakes when luck can get you through it? Perfect. That is indeed why we never don't have it, if you're ever wondering. But perfect, and we'll just finish off the last little bit of this floor, as it were. And that should be fantastic. The bite is so cool though, Vinestalkers, man. Yeah, they're super interesting characters. It's one of the species that I'd never played before the Great Player series, and now I find them so fun. Like in general, I love the regeneration-based fighting as well. Like, speaking of sustain earlier with the Abyss tips, Vinestalkers are the be-all end-all, the epitome of that kind of sustain. Because between your Spirit Guardian and your health pool regeneration, you can stay in combat just an absurd amount of time. There was one post a long while back that I saw somebody was talking about a Vinestalker that got a hold of, it's the Unrandart robe. It's a robe that is essentially a Vinestalker in equipment form. It reduces the effectiveness of healing potions, but it gives you, I think, like double strong regen on the cloak. So if you get the Cloak of Vines, I think it's the Cloak of Vines. Maybe my brain's just lying to me, but the Cloak of Vines on a Vinestalker character, it's just stupidly ridiculous. You end up with like that mixed with, if you can get it on a helmet, on gloves, an amulet as well. I mean, I'm curious how high your HP regen could go. If you're healing up like 5 HP per turn, that's wild. Super regen, you've done that? You're not making up? It was like 4 HP? Oh, yeah, geez. Like, 4 HP per turn is absurd. Isn't there an amulet that has regen plus plus? Does Vitality? I know it gives like plus 15 max health. Is there a different amulet that I'm not thinking of? Or does Vitality give double and I'm just forgetting? Regardless, you're making me dream of a future. I need the best regen character imaginable. Just get it on every single equipment slot that it's possible to have. Which means with Randarts, I think most of them, right? Shield, I think, can have it. Shield, armor, helmet. Cloak probably can. Gloves, boots. Amulet. So that's already 7, and that's not including any of the super ones. That's pretty wild. The one that has regen and magic regen, you think? Oh, and that would actually just be really solid in general, because yeah, the magic regen is essentially an additional regeneration with your Spirit Guardian. That's wild. That's really fun stuff. I don't know, if I ever take the time to learn how, like, what is it, wizard mode works, where you can cheat in things, I'd almost want to do so just so I could see what the heck that looks like. And yeah, with a vampiric weapon as well, exactly. I mean, it becomes a bit tricky. Do you go... It'd probably have to be an axe. If you want to max out how much HP gain you get in a single turn, then you want something with full cleave. That's wild. And then bring in McCleb. Getting HP regeneration on kill. Just reses in a character builder site. Oh, that would be interesting. That you could just put in all your stats. Because that'd be helpful with like doing a lot of the computations over, you know, how likely am I to get banished, for example. And you could just pop that in with like all your current stats and whatnot. It'd be complicated as hell, like especially equipment entry. I guess it would kind of have to be like a list of all the egos, and then you just say which egos you have. Something like that. So all the random stuff, of course, that wouldn't work, but you could get general ideas. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Even with the random stuff, right? If it's just a list of egos, and you're just telling it exactly what your kind of hypothetical scenario would have, that'd be interesting. But regardless, I think this is where we'll call it for the evening. Fantastic start to Venus Flytrap here. Really fun run so far. I'm hoping that we can find that quick blade. That's just going to be our speed rapier, but way better. I think it's better at stabbing. And on top of that, we can get a fun brand that synergizes well. I mean, Vampiric would be awesome if you're feeling so inclined, DCSS. But even like an electrocution branded quick blade is just wild. Or Vorpal would just be nice in general. Sure, Vorpal Flame Cold, not so great on most short blade weapons since they're just a percentage chunk of damage, but Quick Blade of Speed is wild stuff. I think it's 0.2 min delay, which means you're getting 5 attacks per turn. So yeah, Quick Blade of Speed is the quickest way for us to also have some absurd fights against Orbs of Fire. It's just a battle of attrition. It is unstoppable force versus unmovable object, because with your anti-magic bite, you're constantly making them unable to use their abilities. You're attacking 5 times per turn, but you're doing almost no damage to them. It's a wild encounter. But yeah, so we'll have to see what the future has in store for us as we continue to make our way through the dungeon and hopefully stay alive. I'm feeling pretty solid about this. It'd be nice to get Uskayaw off the list, kind of. It's always like bittersweet because it means that we won, but also means that we won't see them again in the series itself. So that's always a bit of a shame. But of course, we'll be happy regardless of how things shake out next week. We'll of course do the usual routine here. We'll take a quick look at who is live at the moment and who we can send a raid off to. So we just check in on that real quick like. Perfect. I think we will send the raid off to Wizard today. I don't know, I'm not feeling very decisive. Everyone on this list looks good, but we'll stick in for now. 14 teleport scrolls, which is a rarity for us. I feel like I've been in recent runs burning through those bad boys at a prolific rate. But yeah, no, you as well, Shad, and everyone else. I hope you all have a fantastic week. We will get this raid loaded up here, or starting to let people join on. And yeah, very much looking forward to next week when we can jump back into it. Hopefully see some good fortune. Though we've already been lucky enough. I'd just be happy to survive, of course. But that will have to wait for next week. Thank you, of course, to all you lovely individuals for joining us on the journey. You know, if you're chatting alongside here, if you're watching in the background, or hey, if you're watching us down the road through the VODs or YouTube, then thank you to each and every one of you lovely individuals. And I hope that you're all enjoying the new series as much as I am. I'm very excited in general for what the Polytheist runs have in store, and exploring a lot of gameplay styles that I've never really gotten the chance to do so before. So again, I hope you enjoy it as well. But of course, regardless of my inane ramblings here, I do hope that you're having a great morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is for you out there, and I definitely hope to see you soon. Just remember, folks, that we never, even for a moment, didn't have it. I'll see you soon.